I feel like it's every other month Warner Brothers Discovery is really trying to shop their video game division. This time it's a company I had no idea was even in the market to buy them. So let's talk about it. Look at it up there. Up there, guys. One of these sides. But anyways, Netflix could buy Mortal Kombat Hogwarts Legacy's owner, Warner Brothers Discovery. Like I said, it feels like every other month Warner Brothers Discovery is like knee-jerking, like, we need to sell now. Sell while we're high. And they just never do. Anyways, Warner Brothers Discovery has further detailed in its plans to break apart or be sold in a news release today. The media giant that owned the developers of Mortal Kombat, Batman, and Harry Potter games said that it received an unsolicited interest from multiple parties already to acquire the entirety of the company or just Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is a massive, and I mean massive, massive property because they own so much. The Harry Potter franchises, the DC comic franchises. It's ridiculous. No, we're not named outright, but Bloomberg recently reported that Paramount submitted a $20 a share bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, which the company rejected. Which, I don't think that's a bad bid, because if you look here, their stock, like, over the last 5 days, like, it was up until October 20th, $18.42. Now it's roughly, you know, as you can tell, $20.47. CNBC reported that Netflix and Comcast might be in the mix too. Netflix already is invested in the gaming space and continues to ramp up its efforts after some previous setbacks. And by that, like, Netflix actually opened their own gaming division and then shut it down. And the other thing, real quick, before we get much further into this article, I was browsing on Netflix last night and it dawned on me, they have a video game tab on the app on my TV. And then if you come here, of course, you got home, shows, movies, and then there's a game section right here where you can play Grand Theft Auto, the definitive edition. You got Underwater Melon, which I've never even heard of, Happy Gilmore, which I've seen. They got all kinds of, like, games surprisingly on here, and it says find more games in the mobile app. This is why I'm paying $20 a month for Netflix. During Netflix's latest earning briefings, the co-CEO, Ted, discussed the prospects of buying companies or assets, but didn't single any names out. Nothing is a must for us to meet our goals that we have for this business, he said, as relayed by The Hollywood Reporter. You know, all seriousness, I really hope that Netflix doesn't buy out Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm not saying that they wouldn't be a good partner for a Batman game or a new Hogwarts Legacy game, but they're not in the business of making video games. You make, you know, movies, cheap documentaries, make great TV shows. Just stick to that, bro. I know they did say years ago that their number one competitor is Fortnite. Why? Because of screen time. It's insane when you think about stuff like that. When it comes to M&A opportunities, we look at them and we look at all of them. And we apply the same framework and lens that we look at when we look to invest. It is a big opportunity. Is it a big opportunity? Sorry. Is it additional value to the ownership? He added, we're predominantly focused on growing organically. You're not growing organically if you're buying up swaths of these things. And then on top of that, if Netflix ends up buying Warner Brothers Discovery, guess what? Fucking HBO Max, whatever the hell it's called now, is becoming part of Netflix. Warner Brothers said its board will evaluate a broad range of strategic options moving forward as it relates to the company's previously announced plans to sell the entire company or break it up into multiple sales or spin-off. Personally, I'm kind of surprised they haven't spun off the game division yet and tried to sell it to somebody such as PlayStation, Sony, or, you know, trying to break it off and sell it to somebody else. I think the biggest issue that Warner Brothers had was when they ended up basically grouping with Discovery and they just tanked everything. CEO David said he's trying to find a buyer or multiple buyers to help unlock the full value of our assets. Warner Brothers Discovery Board of Directors Chair Samuel Jr. added, we continue to believe that our planned separation to create two distinct leading media companies will create compelling value. Bro, you were two distinct leading media companies before you guys merged, that it's important as well to broaden the scope of the potential transactions to find a deal that pays the company the most possible money for its assets, aka corporate greed. Because why? They have shareholders they got to keep happy. Warner Brothers Discovery did not set a deadline or timetable for when it will complete this new strategic review for these strategic alternatives to the previous announced separation plan. That plan, meanwhile, is booked to be completed by mid-2026 if it happens at all. I know they were looking to break their game division down. I think it was into like 3 different divisions, like one that handled Batman, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, and then Mortal Kombat and yada yada yada. And they just haven't done it yet. As today, Warner Brothers Discovery announced another hike for HBO Max, and it's the 3rd one in 3 years, which, does that surprise me? Absolutely not. You know why? Because everybody's fucking doing it. Microsoft's doing it with Game Pass. Netflix does it like every 3 months. Like every quarter, they're basically raising the price on Netflix. They're messing up everything that made streaming platforms great. For the longest time, everybody's like, cut the cord. Cable's so expensive. So you cut the cord and you go with Netflix or you go with Hulu or whoever. And next thing you know, they're basically packaging it together just like they did for cable. So now you can buy a package with Hulu, HBO Max, and Disney Plus. And then I think it's next month is where Hulu and Disney Plus are just becoming one. Hulu's basically going away. It's very frustrating to me is that they're eating their own and they just continuously raise the price for corporate greed. As for Warner Brothers gaming efforts, the company has said it will focus on core franchises going forward with the highest potential of making money back. Batman Arkham Knight developer Rocksteady is set to be working on a new single-player Batman game. Please be good. Because Suicide Squad Kills Justice League was bad. Gotham Knights, bad. Like, just give me a great single-player experience with a great storyline. And on top of that, it's Batman. You have so much source material you can base everything off of to make an amazing story and make it your own on top of that. You can put a spin on whatever you want as long as it's good. Warner Brother Games Montreal is reportedly pitching a new Game of Thrones title. Me personally, I'm not a fan of Game of Thrones. I tried watching the series. It just was not for me. It was super bad. Like, dog shit. Avalanche Software is expected to be working on a full sequel to Hogwarts Legacy, which I'm completely cool with. Just don't go the route of, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Because the first Fantastic Beasts, amazing movie. I really enjoyed it personally. I'm not a fan of Harry Potter. Another franchise, I think that is dog shit. But everybody else loves it. And I'm not afraid to say that. And then the Mortal Kombat series, meanwhile, is expected to continue from developer NetherRealms, which is a good thing. Why? Because NetherRealms has been the developer for Mortal Kombat since basically the beginning. Or actually, it has been the beginning, I believe. As for other DC projects, the studio boss James Gunn has said some really interesting projects are coming, but not soon. Bum, bum, bum. Does that surprise me? No. One we do know about is Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, which launches in 2026 from developer Traveller Tales. That could potentially be a great thing. Why? Because Traveller Tales has worked on Lego games from forever. Anyways, as for Mortal Kombat series, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is coming out October 30th, but is being published by Atari and not Warner Brothers, which that right there really kind of surprises me, but I'm not sure about licensing and so on and so forth. So it could be a licensing issue as to why the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is being done by Atari. A project not coming to market is Wonder Woman, as Warner Brothers Discovery canceled the game and closed the studio Monolith. That one really surprised me because I kind of was looking forward to a Wonder Woman game. The company also closed Player First Games and Warner Brothers San Diego earlier this year. I feel like there are so many studios that have been shut down over the last year, 2 years. Actually, I'd say last 2 years. It's hard to keep up with nowadays. Warner Brothers Discovery Management said that the breakout success of Hogwarts Legacy gives the company confidence that it can get back to producing high-quality games built for long-term consumer engagement. How about this? I think Hogwarts Legacy was a great game because it was definitely a passion project. Like, you could tell games that are made to make money, and then you can tell games that are passion projects. That was a passion project, and I think it was very well done, and I had a lot of fun playing it. The company says it expects its video game division to return to profitability in 2025, with the games division looking to become a more significant contributor to growth in the years ahead. Warner Bros. Longtime gaming boss David Haddad announced in January that he's leaving the company, but will stay on for the time being to help with transitioning process. Let's go full screen. At the end of the day, in my opinion, when it comes to Warner Brothers Discovery, they really need to really focus on themselves and recapture who they are. Because at the end of the day, you can sit there and you can continuously try to make money, and people are going to tell you're not authentically you. And that's the problem with Warner Brothers Discovery. They went from HBO, and then they changed the name to Max. Well, it went HBO, then it was HBO Max, and now it's Max, and now it's back to HBO Max, and they're in the middle of an identity crisis. And I ultimately feel that's what's going to be the downfall of Warner Brothers Discovery, because not just that, they also had the merger with Warner Brothers and Discovery becoming one, which was a terrible fucking idea. They should have never done that from the get-go. And now they're looking for suitors to potentially buy the game division or outright buy the company. What are you trying to sell? And like I said, every 3 months, 4 months, I feel like there's a new suitor coming in trying to buy said company and trying to poach said assets that really makes that company great. And if they poach the good assets, because a lot of the times when you're trying to sell everything as a bundled deal, you'll have people come in and be like, you know what, we're not going to buy the bundled deal. We'll do you one better. We'll take this, this, and this off of your hands. And taking X, Y, and Z off of your hands, you're just leaving the junk, and you're not taking the company as a whole, if that makes sense. And that's what happens when you sell bundles on, eBay. People will turn around and be like, you might be selling all 5 of those together, but I only want these 2. Well, you're defeating the purpose of the bundle then. But anyways, I want to hear y'all's thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think it'd be a great idea for, Netflix to swoop in and buy, Warner Bros. Discovery, or you think it's going to be a bad idea? Personally, I think it's going to be a terrible idea. Anyways, you guys, y'all take it easy. Have a great, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.